The ending of Mafia The Old Country sure was something. People either loved it or hated it. There seems to be no in between. Mafia Game fans have a lot of questions about the ending of Mafia The Old Country. How old were Enzo and Isabella? What gender is their baby? What's their baby's name? Who was on Isabella's ship escorting her to Empire Bay? These are all great questions, so let's get right to it. In Chapter 13, Capodecime, if you look closely at Enzo's boarding pass, the ages of both Enzo and Isabella are revealed. Enzo Favara was 22 years old, and Isabella Torrisi was 21 years old at the end of Mafia TOC. As for the gender of the baby, it is heavily implied by developers that Isabella and Enzo had a baby girl. When we play as Isabella in Chapter 14, La Merica, we are tasked to find something to break the balcony door's lock to escape the room. On the floor of Isabella's room are random objects. One object in particular is Enzo's letter, which reads the following: Amore mio, I have been trying to speak with you this week, alone, but your father has kept me busy. I have the tickets. Go with Valentina when she calls. I was thinking more about names, and why not Rosa for a girl, after your mother? We will be together soon. I love you, Enzo. In this letter, we learn that Isabella's mother's name was Rosa Torrisi. In Chapter 2, Badio, we learn that Isabella's mother passed away. But it isn't until Chapter 4, Il Barone, we learn that she passed away due to sickness. Isabella used to visit the ancient ruins all the time with her parents. Rosa Torrisi loved going to the ruins. She was an artist, and she would paint the ruins from the top of the overlook, the same overlook where Enzo took a picture for the very first time. According to Isabella, her mother was sick for a long time. Even on her worst days, she lifted herself out of bed to come to the ruins. She was a strong-willed woman like Isabella. Unfortunately, when Rosa Torrisi died of her illness, everything changed. Don Torrisi would no longer take Isabella to the ruins, and he wouldn't allow Isabella to leave the house as often and would keep her close to him at all times. In the summer of 1904, Bernardo Torrisi had a tantrum when Isabella asked him if she could study on the mainland in Napoli. His response was to just about smash every glass in the house. According to Isabella, Bernardo Torrisi hasn't been the same ever since his wife Rosa passed away. In Chapter 14, La Merica, when we play as Isabella, we are tasked to find something to break the balcony door's lock to escape the room. On the floor of Isabella's room are 4 objects: a photograph, Enzo's letter, Isabella's journal, and her hairpin. The photograph is of Isabella's mother, Isabella with her mama, Rosa. This is the first time in the game where we see what Isabella's mother actually looked like. The placement of Enzo's letter next to a photograph of Isabella's mother wasn't a coincidence. It was intentional by Hangar 13 developers. It's interesting how Enzo didn't write a name for the baby if it's a boy. The lack of a boy's name, in addition to Enzo's letter mentioning Rosa, plus a photograph of Isabella's mother Rosa, heavily implies that Enzo's baby is a girl whom Isabella will name Rosa. As for the final game cutscene, people have come up with tons of theories. Some people think Leo Galante is in the background accompanying Isabella, but that can't be true. Chapter 14, La Merica, takes place during the year 1907. According to Mafia 2's family album, Leo Galante and Frank Vinci didn't arrive in Empire Bay until 1908, 1 year later. Some people are even saying Leo Galante marries Isabella. In Chapters 5 and 7, we see Leo has a relationship with Conchetta, one of the girls from the cat house. Given how Isabella was deeply in love with Enzo, I doubt she would remarry after Enzo's death, let alone settle with a man associated with the life that she tried so hard to escape from. In the ending of the game, we see Cesare arrive at Don Torrisi's villa right after killing Enzo. Cesare hands Isabella her boarding ticket, which is bloody with Enzo's blood. He tells Isabella, "There's nothing for you here now." Isabella then takes her horse Alba and immediately goes to the train station to escape with her baby. I seriously doubt Isabella took her horse and traveled all the way to Porto Almaro to Galante's bar for Leo. Remember, Isabella at that point had killed 2 people, Achille and Tino, and she lost the love of her life. It was her worst day ever. The only thing on her mind was to escape Sicily for the safety of her and Enzo's baby. At this point, Isabella had tunnel vision. Her only objective was to go to Palermo to board the ship to Empire Bay. Enzo had previously arranged a place to stay in Empire Bay with Franco Vinci's cousin. That's where Isabella would stay. Enzo most likely sent a large amount of money in advance to Leo to make sure him and Isabella would live comfortably in Empire Bay. A lot of people are looking way too deeply at this cutscene, trying to figure out the identities of the individuals who escaped Sicily with Isabella. Although I love Hangar 13, it's widely known that they reuse assets to speed up their development process. For example, did you know that in the epilogue cutscene in Mafia Definitive Edition, the priest for Tommy's daughter's wedding is the same priest that appears in Chapter 8, The Saint and the Sinner? This mission takes place in 1932, and the epilogue cutscene takes place in 1951. The priest hasn't aged in 19 years. This individual, who is accompanying Isabella on her ship to Empire Bay, appears numerous times throughout the game. You can find him in Chapter 3 Pizzu as one of Don Torrisi's vineyard workers. He also appears in Chapter 8 Disgrazia as an NPC praying to a saint in San Celeste. And down the street in the same chapter, you can find him again, but in different clothes. I wouldn't look too deeply at this final game cutscene. Hangar 13 was not going to create custom NPCs for all of these ships' passengers. They're not that detailed given their track record. In conclusion, Enzo and Isabella's baby is most likely a girl named Rosa. We won't see Rosa Favara unless Hangar 13 makes a Mafia 2 prequel and includes her as a cameo or main story character. Personally, I hope we never see Rosa in the sequel to Mafia The Old Country. Enzo would be turning in his grave if he found out his daughter is involved in the life he tried so hard to escape from. Isabella wouldn't like that either. The best outcome for Rosa is to not be associated with organized crime in any way, shape, or form. Let me know down in the comments on what you think about the ending of Mafia The Old Country. Did you like the ending? Did you hate it? What would you like to see if Hangar 13 made a Mafia 2 prequel game? Let me know in the comments below. For the latest Mafia Game content, news, and updates, subscribe to Mafia Game videos.